I'm excited to have Raychel Sanner with us tonight as we continue to celebrate Women's History Month. Thank you so much for being here.
It's great to be here.
You are a photographer, a storm chaser, the founder of Tornado Titans, which is a collaboration with other chasers. I want to start by asking how you even got into storm chasing.
Well, I grew up in Oklahoma. It's a very simple answer, but it's a truthful one. When you grow up in Oklahoma, every piece of the weather is a part of your life. If there's drought, there's going to be wildfires. If there's a lot of rainfall that year, you're going to have flash flooding. Rivers, lakes are going to be swelling out of their banks. And of course, there's supercells, tornadoes, etc. most springs. And if you're just just a little bit curious, you're going to be fascinated with the weather as you grow up because it's always changing. It's always interesting. And so, yeah, that's exactly how I got into weather and also storm chasing. It's just like when I turned 16, it was time to go storm chasing. It was just like my dream since a kid.
Was that the first thing you did when you got your license?
I did not. I got my license in November, but the very first chance I got, the very first storm setup was on St. Patrick's Day the following year in 2003. I did it. I went for it, and I actually saw a tornado my first time. So that was I was due for a big letdown after that because when you're new to storm chasing, you're gonna fail a lot more than when you're a little bit more experienced.
I feel like that's incredibly lucky because I hear so many stories of people who will just drive miles and miles and miles and go on chase after chase and not see a thing. So I'm glad you were able to strike gold on your first one. Surprisingly, I've never been on a chase. So what is it like?
I wish I could tell you, we wake up at 8 a.m. It's the most exciting thing you've ever done. 8 a.m. to midnight, you're just like, it's exciting, adrenaline, but it's not like that at all, actually. It's mainly a lot of driving, a lot of forecasting, a lot of mental notes through the day. You're trying to stay ahead of the weather, make adjustments through the day. And then finally, if it is a magical day for you as a storm chaser and you do get a storm and it's going to do everything that you forecast, you get about 2 or 3 hours of excitement, so to speak. And that excitement is like the best moments of my life in terms of just escaping from everything. Everything slows down, all the outside noise goes away, and it's you in the storm. And that's just like an indescribable feeling. As a storm chaser, there's these different emotions that come through the day. It's like if you're out in the middle of Colorado with no towns around, it's excitement. It's incredible. If it's a big risk day in Oklahoma City's under the gun or something, it's like a butterflies in your stomach because today could be a day that people's lives change forever. People's lives could end. And so that focuses you in a different way of how can I help? How can I get information to the people making the warnings so we can stay ahead of this thing and save lives?
Wow. So if someone is thinking about going storm chasing, what are some of the must-haves that you rely on as a chaser?
Okay, this is going to sound incredibly obvious, but you need to have a reliable car. I can't stress enough how horrible the feeling is if your car fails you on a storm chase day. You're sitting broke down 300 miles from the dry line and you're watching storm towers off in the very distance. It's not a fun feeling at all. So make sure if you're going to storm chase, have a very reliable vehicle. The next thing you should do is probably have a cell phone. I started in an era where we didn't have cell phones, where we were storm chasing basically by the weather radio and eyesight, and there's a place for that. But this day and age, all the information in the world is at your fingertips. So make sure you have a cell phone so you can have radar, you can have surface ops, satellite, all the whole 9 yards in terms of weather data. And then for me, I'm a photographer, I'm a filmmaker. We love posting what we see on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, our website. A camera. You got to have a camera. What's the point of seeing a tornado if you don't have a camera with you? I mean, some people, that's a whole meta discussion, but I'm a big believer that to document what you see, because on top of it being an important thing for our social media audience and that sort of thing, there's been times when the stuff we shoot has been used by scientists to educate, to inform, to also build scientific papers on. Storm chasers have been a huge contributor over the years to the science.
I think it's important to talk about your role as a trans woman in the field. I imagine it was difficult coming out. Have you faced any challenges or barriers since?
The first thing when I came out that really, I guess the best way to put it is I didn't know if I could storm chase anymore. I've been doing it for 15 years. What are you thinking? But I was like, am I able to actually storm chase? Is this something that's allowed anymore? I'm not sure. I resolved that conflict very clearly in 2020, but the pandemic kind of kept me at bay, couldn't storm chase, that sort of thing because of work-related obligations. But 2021, I was able to get back out there, make it happen. And I like to talk about, the biggest barrier is that the natural audience I can reach as a trans person is a little bit smaller. It sucks. It's not great. But the thing that I really want to focus on is the opportunities, the things that I am able to do now. I can show people who are on the fence about storm chasing. Maybe you're another trans person, a woman. Maybe you're someone who just is unsure if it's for them. Like, I'm able now to show that, hey, weather is for everybody. No one owns this. No one has the ability to say you can't do it. The only person that can say you can't storm chase is yourself. You can do it. And it's just like the weather's for everybody. And I just think that that opportunity outshines any of the barriers I've faced.
Do you have any other words of wisdom for someone who might be watching from the LGBTQIA plus community and is wanting to get involved in the science?
Listen, you are not alone. There are a lot of people who are on your side, who are allied with you, and who are here to treat you as anybody else. Like, I say this a lot, but I have seen more amazing things than unamazing things as a trans person in the weather community. This is a great place to exist. And honestly, like, you're going to have more allies than you know what to do with. And just do it. Like, become a part. Just get out there and make it happen. You will surprise yourself what is possible.
Raychel, thank you so much. You are an inspiration. Hopefully you have some good storms this season too.
We'll see.